Hello, welcome back to the Mr. Arsenal podcast for the match review of the Man City game this week, and Happy New Year to everyone that hasn't been here already this year. As you can see, I'm joined by Andrew and Kunjan. How you doing, guys? What happened?
Nice to see you guys. How you doing?
Well,
Happy New Year, Ryan. Happy New Year, Andrew. So good to see you guys. Long time.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you too.
Happy New Year, obviously. But I would say it's... We lost 2-1, but it wasn't really City that won. It was this person that won. That's who won the game. Weren't Man City.
No, but to be fair, you have to give it to City. Very few clubs get their first January signing spot on, and signing January so early. You know, he turned up in the first game. So credit to him, credit to City, and credit to him for showing up.
Yeah, definitely. He only lives down the road, so I've got my baseball bat ready, and he's not going to have kneecaps. He's not going to have kneecaps very much longer.
Oh, mate! Have you seen his RF on Thursday? I said you think
no, I haven't. No,
I got all it wrong, but he's off. It's not Mike Dean, thankfully, but it's not good either.
I think it's Michael Oliver. I think we got Michael Oliver.
Yeah, that's it. Mike Oliver.
Yeah, we got Michael Oliver.
He's not one of the worst, to be fair. But let's face it, not one single ref gives us anything anyway. So it doesn't really matter who the ref is, to be honest with you.
This is the thing. All the refs are as bad as each other. There's no one out there that's literally can say, you know what? He has the odd moment here and there, but he's a good ref. He knows most of the time. Once in a blue moon, he might make a mistake. How is it with the technology we have, and they're professionals as well? I think I said a couple of years back, we have the worst refs in the world, literally. And as I said over the weekend, I said after Palace game, I saw Vieira got booked. They're too protected. The referees in England are way too protected now. There's no accountability for their actions.
There's really interesting chat going on in one of the WhatsApp groups I'm in, and they're paid. There's no referees in the top flight that are anywhere near London, right? I think the nearest one is probably Stuart Attwell, who lives just down the road from me, which is hour and a half away. But all the rest are from up north, and allegedly they're paid around 50 grand a year. Decent salary. But not a massive salary, and if you're going to be living in London, it's probably not enough salary to live on, to be perfectly honest. So you've got a problem there, and unless you start paying them more and start attracting the best refs from around the world to referee in the best league in the world, as the same you do with the players, then things aren't going to improve, because it's a multicultural league. We've got multicultural managers, as obviously players. Why have we not got multicultural referees from all over the world to work, like I said, in the best league in the world? So until we do that, nothing's going to change. But one other thing we can come on to a bit later. We won't have to go into detail on it now. But the other reason I think that, well, not the reason, but one thing that could help solve the problem is miking the refs up like they do in rugby. And so we can hear what is going on between them and the VAR and what is being said. Because until that happens, you're not going to get rid of any biases as well. But that's something we can come on to a bit later, but after we've spoken about the match, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Richard in the chat asking, even if fellas, do you reckon it was a betting syndicate that got to Attwell or at halftime, or just oil money?
The mafia. Yeah, the mafia, the betting mafia. So I'll go for the betting.
Oh dear. No, take that to. We'll go back to what they said later. But this is our 7th defeat in the league, isn't it? This is the first game this season. I came away. I said to my brother, because my brother came with me. Even I was saying it for the last 15 minutes. No matter what happens, Brendan, I can't fault the coaching system. I can't fault the managers. I can't fault the players. They left everything on the pitch, even when they went out to 10 minutes. They didn't give it. They didn't go, oh, for fuck's sake, Nuno down pause and get pumped 4 or 5 or whatever. They kept going. They tried their hardest to get the point. Yes, it's got Gabriel's his youthfulness, so we say, got the better of him and basically cost us in that sense. But then we'll get onto that later. And Granite's Granite. We know what Granite does, but again, looking at the penalty that was given in that situation, if you actually watched it, physics-wise, basic physics, he's grabbed the shirt. Yes, he's grabbed the shirt, but he's not pulling down. So if he's not pulling down, surely the player should be going backwards. Oh, one sec. Yes, come on, Wolves.
I saw Fantastic. That. I just saw that too.
Get in.
Martinho as well.
Yeah. Was that free kick?
No, open play goal.
Wow.
On the edge, in the D basically.
Oh, nice one.
That gives us at least one team that's gaining on us this week. No, I was saying that obviously, as I was saying, basic physics. Grabs the shirt. From Bernardo to go down the way he did, Granit has to be pulling towards the ground. He's not. He's pulling up. So surely, in basic physics, but Bernardo Silva's be going the other way on his back. So we're looking at it, why they're not thinking, hang on, he's going down. The shirt pull's going the opposite way. He's not not at any point is he pulling down. So why the hell is he going down? And then you're hearing Peter Walton. I shared the clip. My brother sent it to me. I shared it in the group chat yesterday. Peter Walton go, well, he wouldn't have got the penalty if he didn't dive. So what, we're rewarding cheating now? Is that what it's gone to? A couple of years ago, it's disgusting. It's the scum of the sort of thing we need to eradicate it. Suddenly we reward it because we've got to go down now.
I'll leave that one to you, Kunja. I was going to. Sorry, I thought you're passing it over. Then apologies, mate.
No, sorry. It's like Odegaard gets taken out, cleanly taken out. It's clear as day. Well, no matter what angle you see, he's taken out by the goalkeeper in the first half. Why wasn't the ref sent over for that then? If he's sent over for a shirt pull, why was he not sent over for a clear tackle that actually took the player out? Was a penalty, basically. Even City fans are saying it was a pen. They were there. They're saying it's in front of us. We can admit it was a pen. This inconsistency is pisses me off.
Kunjan, you can go on to that one first.
Yeah.
I think the most consistent word in that game was inconsistency. Because if you look at we not getting awarded the penalty, fine. Stuart Attwell thought it was not a penalty. Refer to VAR, go look into the screen. He did that for the Bernardo Silva penalty because if you do watch the game again, he tells Bernardo, get up. Because he thought it wasn't a penalty.
Several times.
Exactly. He kept on saying, get up, get up, get up, get up. And he was informed by VAR, go over to the screen, have a look. He had a look and awarded the penalty. Now, going with Ryan's perfect assessment of physics, Granit sticks the leg out. He sticks his leg out. Bernardo runs towards it. Granit sees it, pulls the leg out, tucks the shirt. But if you watch the time that Granit tucks the shirt, Bernardo's already on the way down. So defying physics, because if I'm getting my shirt pulled, I should be falling to my left or my right where the shirt is. And if you're pulling my shirt this way, there's no way in hell the inertia can take me that way. I'm actually going to go on my knees, which is odd. But anyway, also a lot of things like, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this, but it took Rodri to strip to get the first yellow card to a Man City player was because Rodri stripped. And watch the game again, how Rodri is still on the pitch. And this is typical Arsenal. If you look at any of the games, be it when we lost to Liverpool last season, Sadio Mane goes and scores the winning goal, he shouldn't even be on. And this keeps happening to us. Even yesterday, was it against Chelsea? Within the first minute, the elbow. It's the first minute. Just give him a yellow card. I'm sorry, a foul's a foul. If that was Granit Xhaka, I think he'd get a 6-match ban. No, it's true. It's true. Like
It is.
we are told by lots of rival fans that Arsenal are sore losers. We just make excuses. I'm sorry. Replace Arsenal on the top of the bar to, let's say a Wolves. We'll get all those decisions our way. Let's replace Arsenal with a once upon a time Manchester United. We'd get all those decisions and some more. What's happened all of a sudden is the high profile teams, be it the Liverpools, be it the Manchester Cities. It looks bad if Rodri is sent off. It looks bad if the penalty is given against one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League, Ederson. But if Granit Xhaka does it, just another day. It's but normal. It's Granit Xhaka. I think this is something that needs to be addressed. I think, Andrew, you're spot on. There needs to be a clear-cut communication between the referees, the linesmen, and the VAR, because we need to understand, we need to hear why such decisions are being made. But I don't know why VAR is not doing that. The technology has advanced. They do it in cricket. They've been doing it in cricket for now, I guess, at least 5 years now.
They do it in Formula
even,
One. You can hear the communications in Formula One.
And in cricket, if you remember, when they did go over to the third umpire, everyone in the stadium can watch. Even if you can't hear it, you can watch what the decision is. When they do the replays, when they go with multiple camera angles, everyone in the stadium can watch that. Fair enough. Maybe you couldn't hear it at the time. Now you can, which is why if you listen, I think the video umpire will even say that's out. Before the decision comes on the board, there's a cheer in the audience because they've heard it's out. And this is where the problem is. Once VAR becomes transparent, I'm not saying VAR is a joke or VAR is a flop. I think we need it. Some of the decisions that are let's take Emil Smith Rowe's goal against, I think it was Leeds, where he was marginally onside. A different day that would be offside, or a different day, it would be taken as sure it may have been onside. I think VAR helps over there, but VAR does not help with this lethargic, with this lethargic sense of non-communication where it's like, hey, Stuart, I think Odegaard may have dived. I think Edison got the ball. No need to review it. It's not a penalty. Cheers, move on. But when it happens with Bernardo Silva, hey, Stuart, Granit Xhaka may have punched him in the face. Have a look in VAR. Got you, man. I think this is where the transparency needs to be there. Everyone in the stadium, everyone at home needs to see it, needs to hear it, and get it clearly. And I'm sorry, more than anything else, everyone was speaking about Martinelli's miss, which, let's be honest, he should have buried that. Watch the replay. There was a defender in front of him, and he was not wearing blue. He was wearing black. A gentleman ran into the box, blocked Martinelli.
I'm surprised he didn't body check him or slide tackle him, to be perfectly honest.
I think he wanted to, but because Martinelli got out of the way, he was like, you know what? I'll let Ake have this. Because you could actually see from, I have absolutely no idea what happened.
Angle,
He runs in. He must have been I'm under the halfway line, and he saw, was it Ruben Diaz who headed it goalwards? I forget who it was.
It was Ake.
It was, I think.
No, Ake crossed, cleared it off the line.
Yeah,
it was one of the
I think it was Diaz.
Yeah, so he ricocheted, and I kid you not, Stuart Attwell was nowhere to be seen. But when you see the camera, the guy is galloping down. He goes in front of Martinelli. Martinelli goes around, hits it, and it hits the outside of the post. Now, if we use physics the way Andrew had said earlier on, the ball comes right at to you. Either you're slamming it straight or you're hitting it to the right on your right foot. You've given Gabriel a place to move to the left. He hits it, hits the outside of the bar with his left foot. Sure, we have to give it to Gabriel that he should be putting those away. Martinelli should have been putting it away. I think Ryan mentioned that Gabriel was, he lost his cool because of youth. I also want to say, yes, youth is a pivotal factor for that, but think of the repercussions of that game. You are dominating the best team in the country. You're going toe to toe with them. You've been written off as a club. You've been written off as a team, and you've given Man City a game. You're going into halftime 1-0 up. The man inside is telling you, we can go get more. We should, I personally think we should have gone into halftime at least 2, if not 3-0 up, if not 3-0. You come back out, you're robbed of a penalty in the first half. You've been unfairly granted a penalty. I think Albert was mentioning that it wasn't, the yellow card was not even for the penalty spot. It was
No,
for
no,
something,
it wasn't.
but
Yeah.
that's what everyone is speaking, that Gabriel went and he cheated, thus he was granted the yellow card. But Albert went on record to say um, that it was a discussion where he didn't even use any profanities, and yet he was booked. Saka was booked, and did you see Saka's reaction? He's like, "Wait, what? Me? You're carding me?"
Yeah, that's
And
because
I'm
it had
kidding.
been fouled, and literally you've got over to the ref to ask, is there a yellow card, basically? Nothing, no blinding. The ref's just got the card out, boom.
And that's what I'm saying.
He-
Imagine in a
when
game.
Gabriel, when Gabriel got
Sure.
booked, the ref already had the card out of his pocket.
Yeah.
And I heard James McNicholas say this on the Arscast earlier, and I totally agree with him because it's exactly what I thought. He had the card out already, and Gabriel was the first one to walk up to him and say anything. Hence, it was Gabriel that got the
Was in the
red card,
receiving
the yellow card, for the team. He was the one. He basically became a volunteer to get the card on the behalf of the team for that.
Right.
And he didn't. Yeah, he didn't swear. He just like, why have you given that? Basically in nice, normal words, without, like you said, without profanities.
Right.
And he was the one because he already had the card in his hand. He was going to book someone, and Gabriel was that person because he was first there.
Yeah.
Because I was there, the reason why it kicked off the way it did after the penalty was awarded was because they showed it on the big screen. They then faded onto the big screen the incident of Bernardo diving. And it's all kicked off. So the players are like, well, hang on. And the Jackers like pointing to the screen, like, look, how can you give a penalty for that? Literally, no, there's, if you can read lips and all that, there's no can you this, you that.
Yeah.
It's asking the question, like, how can that be given? And then earlier on, boom, nothing. It's like, how can you look at the things? They're asking genuine questions, and the ref's like, yeah, whatever, go away. And then whilst they're asking questions, the referee's got the ball, big number that he is, and just bars his way through, which is then someone's ricocheted onto Gabriel's then ricocheted onto the ref, and he's thought, what the? So already in ref stage, like, well, because he hasn't seen what's gone on. We've already tried to attack me once, so but say anything else, and as you say, because he was the first one to come over afterwards, he was automatically going to get a booking because he's already in the best bad books wrongfully because of shithousing from Rodri, who, by the way, when he gets in the face of the referee in the build up to that, obviously that penalty, he's literally, I watched it, him, Laporte, and De Bruyne all got in the referee's face. Not one of them got a warning, got booked. No, nothing.
No. It's like, there's so many you can go back to this season. Like the Everton game where Tomiyasu got his face stamped on, and nothing happened. Newcastle game where Aubameyang was clean through and he got pulled back as the last man and there wasn't a sending off. There's just countless issues this season where we just haven't had the decision. And it's just beyond ridiculous now how you go through a whole game. And like you said, I don't think City had a card until the goal. And it's just, I'm sure I saw a stat where we had 7 fouls and 6 cards, or maybe 8 fouls and 7 cards, or something like that. Virtually a card for every challenge we made.
Yeah.
And, you just completely... I don't know how many millions of people were watching that game around the world, but you just spoil the spectacle not only of all the people that have paid through the nose to get to the game in the first place in the stadium, but all the millions of people that are paying for their subscriptions all around the world and watching that game. And it's a big game, first versus fourth, two big teams, two of the biggest teams in the world. And you go and spoil the match as a competition after 60 minutes by sending off Gabriel. Now, he was, he was a bit impetuous with the second one.
Yeah.
It's still doubtful whether it was a yellow, but you can get those yellows. That's fine. Yeah. But when you're in that situation as a ref, you have to use your common sense and to judge how the game is going and developing in front of your nose, what the tensions are like. And you have to use your common sense sometimes to think, he's just had a yellow card. He hasn't done anything overall to be
malicious,
to warrant ruining this game by sending him off. Just take him to one side and say, look, mate, you've just had a yellow. This is your very last warning. You do anything like that again, you'll get another booking and you're off. And again, you simply have to use your common sense to keep the game going as a competitive spectacle. And he didn't do that. He didn't do that at all.
From the moment he gave the penalty, the referee completely lost the game. He completely lost it. And as you say, it was giving us cards left, right, and centre for nothing, basically. And
I think he gave Rob Holding a yellow card just for having a new hairline.
Yeah,
yeah, literally, it felt like it because he came on within a minute, makes a 50-50 challenge with a ball.
It was a 50-50 challenge.
It gets booked. It's like,
and Rob Holding was like, "Wait, what? No warning, nothing."
Before that, Lacazette's getting flung in the air. Martinelli lost his ankles at the start of the first half. Yeah. Nothing. The corner got given instead, not even a free kick. It's because and people have sort of reminded me this weekend that this ref actually got banned for 4 years. He weren't allowed to referee a game for 4 years after he gave a goal. After he refereed a game between Reading and who it was now, Reading and someone else. I'm trying to think. Watford, Reading and Watford. He gave a goal that wasn't a goal because the ball had gone wide, but somehow he gave a goal.
Didn't even go in the goal. No.
Yeah, and basically he got banned from. He got actually suspended for 4 years. He couldn't referee a single professional game. He's come back, and what's he done? This is a guy last year had a fucking mohawk for crying out loud.
Maybe that's why Rob Holding got the card. He's a little envious of the hairline.
You have a better haircut than me. How dare you?
Yeah,
I know. But this is the thing. I think we need to as well start talking about how good we actually played football.
Yes,
because Arsenal were a bloody good football team in that game yesterday. It was just a scintillating, brilliant performance, the best we've seen in a long, long time. And
I think it's paradoxical to say. I'm sorry, Andrew, but I think it's very paradoxical to say this, but we have played the best game of the season, even though we lost.
Yeah, we have.
It's been our finest performance, even though we lost.
Even after we went down to 10 men.
Even after 10 men.
Yeah. We let in a really, really scruffy goal at the end at the death, which was absolutely one of the most gut-wrenching, worst goals to let in you could possibly imagine, in that time. But taking that aside, because they had the luck there as well. They had the rub of the green. It just fell in exactly the right place for them. It could have gone anywhere, that ball.
Yeah.
But it just landed in the right... You can't... I mean, yes, you could micro-analyse every single player's performances around that goal, but that would be so stupid and cruel to do because it was just one of those things. That goal was just one of those things. It just happened to fall in, and it was the worst, scruffiest, gut-wrenching goal ever. Take that aside just for a minute, because even after we went down to 10 men, I still think we played brilliantly. And every man on that pitch, just every man deserves, the biggest amount of praise, don't they? I mean, right away from top to bottom. And you can say, what did Ramsdale actually have to do during that game? Apart from pick the ball out the net twice because of a penalty and because of that freakish goal at the end. Otherwise, he didn't have to make a good save at all, did he? In that game against the best team in the world, arguably. So I mean, you've got to give it to every single player from top to bottom on the pitch, and just say, wow, you played brilliantly there, boys, and we should have been a couple of goals up. But yeah, let's talk about that a bit more because it was a great performance, I think.
The controversy sort of diverted away from what we just discussed. That literally, that was not just this season. That's been our best performance in a long time.
Yeah.
Home or away against any team. It so happened to be against the best team in the country, possibly Europe, without our manager being in the stadium because obviously he's self-isolating.
You've got to take that into account as well. And how long have I been going on? Right, you two have known me for a while, you know, doing podcasts and that, going back for a long time now, even in the Unai Emery days. And I've been saying over and over again how often I just want us to go into a game like this on the front foot, you know, without having a game plan to negate your opposition, but how we can press our game onto them. I've been going on about this for so long, you know, and I just couldn't, you know, I was just so pleased to see us doing that and forcing our game onto them. If you see all the touch maps and all that back for the game now, I mean, I saw it very briefly. I haven't read the article properly yet, but we played our game in the Man City half all the time. How great was that to see? To go into, I know we were at home, but we've been at home against these teams for years, and we haven't done that.
Yeah.
But we actually pressed our game onto them, and it was just wonderful to watch. I mean, the movement, the passing. I mean, Thomas Partey. I mean, wow, he was the best player on the pitch by far. Tommy Asu, I thought was outstanding. I mean, you can go through all of them, and they were all outstanding. But I mean,
every time we attacked as well, we looked like we were going to score.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, Martinelli, I mean, what's he worth now after that game? What's Saka worth now after that game? I mean, it was just incredible. And you could see a large number of our players not being out of place in their team. I mean, how often could we have said that in the past? I hate to say it, but I know, God forbid, it will never happen. But I mean, there's no other replacement for Raheem Sterling in the world than Bukayo Saka, is there, for Man City? I mean, hopefully that will never happen, and I'm touching wood, because he can. I think with this, the way that we are going, it's early days still. We're still not there yet, but you know, I think we're showing that we are a team where he could achieve all his goals in the future now. Bukayo Saka, he's an Arsenal player, Arsenal man, so hopefully he will never leave Arsenal. But you get what I'm saying. He would easily have slotted into that team, and he would have been one of their best players. And the same could be said for Gabriel Martinelli. He missed that chance, but I do honestly think that the referee played a part in that. I think he slightly, just within that split second, he had his plan to shoot at that ball, exactly what he was going to do with that ball, but the referee messed it up the last split second, and he had to just slightly change. But he's a great finisher, and there's no doubt he would have finished that if the referee weren't in play in front of him. But I mean, like I said, what's he worth now, Martinelli, after that performance? It was just outstanding, mate. I could not. I was so proud of them. I was so proud of all the players yesterday. I was absolutely gutted for them when at final whistle. You could see how gutted they all were. But I honestly think that they will not be downhearted about that performance. I think that they will use it as a springboard to show that they should have won that game, and they will. I don't think they will ever go into a game against one of the top teams anymore with this team with any kind of inferiority complex. I don't think that will happen anymore after that game.
We'll find out on Thursday. The next opponent's Liverpool.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be interested to see the teams will put out for that, won't it? But we're both going to be weekend. With the AFCON and everything, but that'll be a good game. But yeah, I'll let someone else talk because I've gone on for ages.
Well, to say, there's National Eagles in the chat. He's a Man United fan. You can tell by his comment. He says Arsenal are miles ahead of his team United. Come back next week, and I'm telling you now, Man United will lose 3-1 in the cup against Villa. And when you consider again, just touching on that, start the season. Media, the pundits, they all said top four sewn up already before even the ball was kicked. It would be Chelsea, City, United, and Liverpool. That'd be the top four. No one's getting nowhere near. And look, Man United are struggling. and you've got Man United fans coming onto here, another channel saying, Arsenal actually ahead of us. And again, consider the stock we had 3 losses at start the season. Not many. If someone said to you then, "Oh, fast forward to New Year's Day, you'll be 4th, ahead of United, ahead of Tottenham, ahead of West Ham. You'll be holding on to 4th, 5 points clear. You're 6 points off the second and third teams in the league." You would have sent the person to the loony bin because you would have believed it. The way we just turned things around. And what I take away from what I'm sort of taking away more so from Saturday side is there's clearly, obviously, since Aubameyang has been dropped, but this was a big game to sort of ram home if it was just against the lesser team, so to speak, in performances. The fact that we went toe-to-toe with City and made them look bang average and all that jazz, there's clearly a belief in the system now that the players are buying into. Now, we've got the troublemakers, so we say, away from the main stage. We're seeing better football since the last one's been dropped and lost the armband. We're scoring a lot more goals, we're conceding less. And we're going into games, no matter who it is, confident we're going to come away with something, if not 3 points.
It's brilliant to see.
And that's a massive props to Arteta and his team that's done that, and the players around him have believed in it.
Definitely.
And I honestly believe we can pull something off against Liverpool now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm going into it with no thoughts of losing over 2 legs. I really am. I mean, Kunjan, you talk about the performance as a whole and player performances. I think I'm sure you agree with everything we say, really, don't you? It's hard not to.
So I have a different outtake, of course. Okay, let's look at everything that happened on Saturday, and obviously put it into perspective that yes, we were robbed. I still think we were robbed of 3 points. We did not. Even a draw would have been very bitter for me. Like if we were 1-1, it'd have been a bitter result. I'd have not been happy with it. But I also have to give a little bit, just a bit of edge to City for they were knackered. They had a very congested fixture. We not playing Wolves for me was a blessing in disguise because we would have gone up against City a little fresher, and it showed. You could see that the front line were a little lethargic, even at the back. Like Martinelli was running at them rapidly, and he had left. I think everyone is saying it, like one of the best fullbacks in the league, Consuelo, and he was leaving him like chasing hot dogs the whole time. So you have to give it to City that they were a little lethargic, but yes, it's not every day that a team can say we made City look terrible, and we did. They look like the Manchester City pre-money. They looked terrible. Like they did. Like I think Pep Guardiola must have been sitting there going, "Where is Arteta when I need an answer?" Oh wait, he's there. You know. Also, I think for the Carabao Cup or even the FA Cup, personally, yes, silverware is good, but I do think we need to hit for that top 4 spot. So if you're asking me what's the team we should put out against Liverpool, considering Nottingham Forest is our next game, I think we should go strong for the first leg. Go slightly weaker for Nottingham Forest, where you let a lot of the kids have a run. Let the Charlie Patinos, the Kido Hearts, all these guys have a run. Maybe for the second leg against Liverpool, based on the result, mix it up a bit. But going against them lot down the road, go all out and give it to them. Because what broke my heart more than losing to Man City is a 96th minute goal to give them 3 points. That was like you're being stabbed and then someone's like, hey man, here's another one, and it's going to go even deeper.
I know.
A 96th minute goal.
Did you see the penalty that Watford should have had as well?
Well, Levis
no, I didn't watch the game. I didn't watch the game.
I saw the highlights, and there, Levis comes flying off his line because he has a knee. and just takes out the attacker.
Oh, Kunjan, you've
get
got
the
to
ball.
watch it.
Doesn't get
I'll
the
check
ball.
it out tonight.
Yeah, both hands like that. Doesn't get the ball though, but they deemed it as because they couldn't tell if he got the ball or not. But you could tell why the ball goes, the speed of it going. He doesn't touch the ball.
It's just an absolute joke.
But see, that's not Lloris's fault, because if his shirt had this, he would have had a 6 month ban for doing that. You know, he may have even gotten deported. You know,
20,
back to
20 red cards in one hit. There you go.
It got done for GBH. You'd have been in prison.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be interesting.
Mate, you got to watch it. It's just even worse than ours. It's just unbelievable. It just shows you that we're not. It's not just Arsenal. The refereeing standard is awful across the board. However,
we've seen it recently. We saw it recently. The Tottenham v Liverpool, England captain, we say, getting the job of the green. And if you're Scottish, you're getting sent off for the same thing.
And the nerve for him to say, "No, I got the ball." No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
You can't get away with anything on the pitch. I mean, there's about 150 different angles of what happened. You can't lie.
I beg to differ, Andrew. Did you see his angle? His angle was the correct one.
No, the funniest thing about the whole thing was when he said, "I haven't watched it back." I mean, why the fuck do you have to watch it back, mate? You actually did it. You actually had the best view in the whole house. Why do you have to watch it back?
It was you that made the challenge. What?
That just cracked me up when he said,
But I think that, again, isn't that a bias towards that's again from the FA, because he's the poster boy for England, so thus he can never get sent off. I think someone mentioned this as a statistic, but Alan Shearer never got sent off or something. When
the 97-98, he basically until the end of the season, Newcastle got into the FA Cup final. And the last game of the season, he got an altercation with Neil Lennon, basically kicked Nevin's shit out of his head, basically. Neil Lennon had to go to hospital. He did get a red card.
Yeah.
And he got held in the front of the panel, basically, to explain himself. And he basically said, "Look, it's an FA Cup final around the corner. If you punish me and basically don't let me play this final, I'll never play for England again." And they let him off.
Oh.
Never
and poetic justice. Who was in the FA Cup final and who won it?
Exactly.
We always do.
Yeah, so I think
no, but that's ridiculous, because that means the rules can be bent for certain people of certain caliber. It's ridiculous, because again, Granit Xhaka sneezes, and not for COVID reasons, just as a foul. He sent Harry Kane goes with a 2-footed challenge. Big deal. I didn't see anything wrong with that.
Do you know what? I also think that, in a weird sort of way, that because it was Granit Xhaka that had picked up on the Bernardo Silva run and he went to challenge him, that Bernardo Silva thought, "Oh, this is Granit Xhaka. I know what I can do here." I think that maybe that slightly had a sway in what Bernardo Silva was doing as well, because it was Granit Xhaka.
Yeah.
I think his reputation precedes him with the players as well as the refs.
But Andrew, I think again, this is not sounding like a disgruntled Arsenal fan, but when we spoke about was it the Everton game, Ben Godfrey, you've stamped one of the nicest people on the pitch. Tomiyasu is not an aggressive guy. He doesn't swear. He doesn't get feisty. He's genuinely a nice guy. He's new to the league. You've seen a stud mark on his face. Play on.
I think Tomiyasu's so nice he even spits into a tissue and puts it up his sleeve.
No, but that's the thing. Like, did you remember the All or Nothing documentary with Mourinho and Tottenham? And he's giving it to the players like, "You guys are too nice." And I think that has resonated to Arsenal and I think the game has changed. I won't say it's evolved. I think it's changed. We don't have the Keanes and the Vieiras anymore. In the 90s, in the early 2000s, tackles were flying in, bodies were flying. half the penalties that people are conceding today, half would not be even given as I don't know, not even a foul, not even an indirect foul in the penalty area. People become softer. The only thing hard right now are the hair gel that is being used on some of the players, because it's ridiculous how everything has changed. But yet, when it comes to Arsenal, for some odd reason, Granit Xhaka, who's the old school tough tackler, Granit Xhaka could go up against the advertising board and get sent off because they're like, "Hey, man, that's a violent conduct. Send him off. Send him off. That advertising board is going to need treatment." Like, it's something we need to address. It's something that needs to get out there. Whoever's going to be in charge of speaking to the FA, whoever's going to be speaking to the panel eventually, needs to say, "Do you have an agenda?" Klopp went to the referee head on.
Yeah.
I think it was against Tottenham.
Yeah,
And he's like,
Paul
"I don't have a problem with the referees. It's just you."
Hmm.
People do have their biases. We talk about Mike Dean. Like, people do have their biases. People do have certain things. And I think it's making the game look really bad, because when you watch a game like City and Arsenal, not just us, rival fans are turning around and saying, "You did not deserve to lose that."
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, match of the day, I don't think I'd ever watch that again. They all agreed that the referees got everything right.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
Ian Wright's one of the pundits, and he went, "Yeah,
there's something. I mean, someone must have had a gun to Ian Wright behind the cameras. There's no way that he would have done that anyway. There's no way Ian Wright would have done that. He must have had a rifle, pointing at his head or something. It's just nutcase. Yeah, that was really, really stupid.
right sideline.
But I mean, so there's things going on in the chat about Saka and whether he'll ever be a sort of 15 to 20 goal a season guy. And we're having a bit of a conversation about that. And I honestly think, I mean, look at, I put a note in the chat about Salah. I mean, look at Salah at 20. I'm not saying that Saka's ever going to be scoring the level of goals that Salah is. But I can easily see him becoming a 15 to 20 goal a season, wide, outside forward, inside forward, whatever. He's got so much talent. He's 20 years old.
Yeah.
And most players don't start hitting their prime when, with goal scoring form until they're sort of the mid-20s, even going into sort of the latter part, over 25. Look, that's what's happened to Salah. No one could have seen Salah scoring the amount of goals that he's getting at the moment, and he's pushing 30 now, if not quite 30. He's nearly there. But this kid is 20 years old, and he's just starting to hit the corner every time now. You look at all his goals; he's finding the inside of the post, right, or just right in the corner.
Look at the goal he scored on Saturday. Literally didn't even take a touch; just the ball came to him.
It's unbelievable finish. Unbelievable finish, and the keeper no chance. I mean, he's finding his scoring boots already, same as Smith Rowe. At 20 years old, it's frightening what potential he could have. And if you can say that he's not going to be a 15 to 20 goal a season player in the future, then I don't see how you can come to that conclusion. To be perfectly honest, someone put, I think it was BX saying that he can never see him as a striker. I'm sorry if it wasn't UBX, but one of you did. And I'm not saying he'd ever be a striker, but could you class Mohamed Salah as an actual striker? Because I don't think he's not even a striker, is he? No. He's a forward. He's a wide forward. Yeah. And that's the potential that Saka's got for me. And could easily see him scoring 15, 20 goals a season in the not too distant future either. To be honest, I mean, even Smith Rowe, what's he on now? A 7, something like that, 7 or 8
he's
goals.
A top goal scorer, I think he contributed to over 11 goals already this season. Smith Rowe alone.
I mean, would you be surprised if either of them got to 12 to 15 this year? I wouldn't be surprised.
I think they both would. I reckon over all competitions or league, whatever, they could both get easily to 15 the way they're going at the moment. Their form continues. They escape injuries and all that. Touch wood.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if either of them got to that level. And when you do take, I keep saying it. I'm sorry to keep bringing it up, but when you do take into account their age, it's phenomenal, the skill that they've got. And I wouldn't put it past them at all to really kick on now with their goal scoring.
And technically, it's a World Cup year now, so they've got even more motivation to really prove a point to go out to get in that team. No matter where obviously the World Cup's been held, they want to be there, don't they? They want to be part of that because there's a good chance we could do something over there.
I think with Saka becoming quite lethal in front of goal, I personally feel it comes down to who the number 9 will eventually be. Because as you can see, now that Lacazette is playing, I don't want to use this term because it's gone very badly with us for last season, but Lacazette isn't playing your quintessential striker or center forward. He's actually playing the false 9. And I hate to say that, but he is dropping back and he's bringing Saka and Martinelli in this case, quite inside. Yeah. And thus allowing the space for them to go up against the centre backs. Then obviously we use Odegaard as the sprayer. So I do believe if we are going to go for the quintessential, like let's say if we have a young version of Giroud, I don't think Saka would be scoring 15 to 20 goals, but he could play the Robert Perez role where there'll be a lot of assists. And your cutbacks, your run into the box and hit a loose ball. So it depends who your center forward is, because I do see us using the 4-2-3-1 or eventually maybe the 4-3-3.
I don't see us. I see us playing much more of a City type of football without a striker. I can see. Smith Rowe or Martinelli taking the Lacazette role in the future, and they're all just interchanging, all just moving around, unmarkable, and that's what I love to see. In the future, they're maybe not quite ready for it yet. I think Martinelli's still got a few rough edges, which I love. I actually love his rough edges, to be perfectly honest. However, he's only going to get better and better. But give him another 6 months in the team. That's going to do him the world of good. Look what 6 months did to Emile Smith-Rowe from Boxing Day last year until the end of the season. Yeah. Look how much he improved. Look how much he developed. And that same sort of thing can happen to Martinelli this year. So maybe come the summer, we will probably buy someone, but maybe not like a superstar striker. Maybe someone in the mould of like a Gabriel Jesus type of player, who again is multi-useful, can play in different positions. I see us moving in that direction. I don't see us moving towards an out-and-out goal scorer like a centre forward. I know we're always being linked with them all the time.
We've been heavily linked with the guy from Fiorentina.
Doesn't mean we're going to get one.
Vlahovic,
Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, but Vlahovic is an interesting one because if you actually watch him play, I've watched him a few times now. He's not a typical centre forward either.
No, but Andrew, the thing is, he brings something we don't have, and that's physicality. Because he's quick, he's prolific, he does drift, and he has the pace for it. But he's huge. He's I think 6'3", 6'2". Like Patrick Schick. Patrick Schick would bring that. We are linked with Patrick Schick. But again, if we have the centre forward with the physicality, you mentioned having Emile Smith-Rowe or Martinelli as that false number 9. They're great options, but they're just not physical enough. So if you look at what we're exploiting with Tierney, even against Man City.
Who have Man City got that's like the way that you're describing? Who's their real physical player then?
De Bruyne is a big guy. Like, we don't realize it, but De Bruyne is quite tall. Rodri is quite big. I mean, but last season De Bruyne did play the false 9.
If you're going to
last season, De Bruyne played your false 9. Remember?
That is, you're hitting on the nail on the head there, though, because. Do you know from one game to another who's Man City are going to play in that position? Who's going to play in that false 9?
No, it's true.
Exactly. It's all multi-changeable, isn't it?
And I do feel we need one physical. We need one physically prevalent person. One, if not all of them, at least we need one. Like we've been linked with Isak, I think, and again, tall lad, and I think they give something different. I'm not saying we design the system around your typical center forward. I think we need to design our system around the midfield, which I think we can start seeing coming. If Man City had Stuart Attwell as their first January signing, we had Thomas Partey as our first signing because we finally got to see what Thomas Partey does on the 1st of
Now
January.
he's gone.
And now he's gone. Typical Arsenal, aren't we?
He's obviously what Colonel's put there on the screen. He's obviously the one I've been banging the drum for on Twitter, saying I love the look of Ivan Toney.
He's good. He's good. He'd be a good
People
addition.
say, well, he's not scoring very much for Brentford, blah 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 blah. But
That's fine.
you can just see the quality in the player, and you can see that. Obviously, Ollie Watkins came from Brentford from the Championship into Aston Villa, and he had a good season last year. You just have to put these players into better surroundings, into a better training ground with all better coaches around them, and you can see how good they can become and blossom. Look at the players we brought in the summer, and look at the teams we signed them from. And were they ripping up trees when we signed them? No, probably not. But you put a player into another environment, and you can see them really thrive. I just see the technical quality that he's got, the aerial ability.
Yeah,
he's great on the floor. He can shoot with 2 feet, and he just looks like a sort of player that might fit in really nicely to our team. I really like the look of him.
Yeah,
and also we've got an abundance of talent in terms of strikers coming. We've got Balogun, who looks like he's going on loan because apparently today we've recalled Muller from his loan in Sweden. So it looks like Muller's coming back to be reintegrated into the under-23. So then Balogun goes off and gets some game time elsewhere for the next 6 months. So there's that option as well. But it's interesting. Obviously, this month's going to be very interesting because, as you know, with Partey now and then going to AFCON now. Ainsley could be going to Roma at some point, so we must be looking at for Ainsley to be going. Then that would leave us with just Granit and Sambi.
Lukonga.
We must be looking at someone. And apparently today we've been heavily linked with the guy from Lille, Bruno. I can't remember his surname.
Guimaraes, yeah.
Heavily linked. We're linked with him back in the summer, but today the links have really heated up. Like we're in talks with the club and the player and all the representatives and this, that, and the other. We want to get it done ASAP. Apparently, don't know how true it is, but obviously that's important.
Douglas Luiz is another one from Aston Villa. That's another one they're speaking of.
I like Douglas Luiz.
Yeah, I like him too. Yeah. I mean, Bruno is also something. He's quite good. He's really good. But again, we've had a track record of bringing people from France and. It's not quite worked out. Douglas Luiz is, I think he would be considered homegrown because of his time at Man City and even at Villa. So that would be a good spot for us as well. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm really open to having Jack play for us again. And there's no nostalgia in that. I'm not at all nostalgic when I say that.
I've been saying on and off throughout the season. I've been asking the question: would people be open? Like I said, would they be open to him coming back, even if it is for like a 6-month deal, pay as you play sort of deal, and see how it goes?
I would definitely, yeah.
He knows the club inside out, so he knows he's going to leave everything. He'll bleed for the club. He'll leave everything on the pitch. Yeah. With that, and obviously coming through the academy, like we're seeing now, Saka and Smith Rowe, they can sort of look up to him, and he can sort of lean on them and say, this is where you're going wrong, or this is that now. But he can sort of guide them and as well on and off the pitch and training properly. And he's an experienced head. He knows the Premier League inside out. He just because he's on a contract, or even if it's 6 months, it doesn't mean he has to play every game. It's the games against the lesser teams, so we say, to start off with, things we should be beating. It's just easier first.
He'd be ideal for these cup ties, wouldn't he? And stuff like that. And I mean, I think it was Charlie Patino, wasn't it, who said he's been Jack's been the best player in training by far that he's seen. You know, it's not just out of sentiment; it's the fact that he's still a top quality midfielder. And we're not talking about a Willian type deal, are we? You know, we're talking about a deal until the summer, which will benefit us, but it will also benefit him in getting a new club at the end of the season as well. And he's also doing a wonderful job, all accounts, with the young players. So he can still stick around and do that. He can help get him his coaching badges, and he can play matches when we need him to play matches. So it just suits all parties. I can't see a negative side to it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And we haven't got to play Man City again this year, this season.
More positives.
A lot of our big games have actually been done now.
Unless we get them in the cup. That's a different
FA Cup, FA Cup's possible. Yeah,
that's a different kettle of fish altogether.
Yeah.
We'll beat them. We always beat them in the FA Cup.
We always beat them in the cup. Piece of piss, yeah. Might as well just play a lower league team coming up against Man City in the cup. But I don't see a downside to it, to be honest with you, because we're really short of midfielders, big time.
Yeah, exactly. That's us. The main thing I say is that he came through the way he did as a youngster. The likes of Saka, Smith, Foes, and the other players that did around that coming through, that have come through the academy. Sorry, they can look up to him on the pitch as well. And he can sort of guide them on the pitch in this, that, and the other, and on the training pitch, be a bit more hands-on, and again, just prove his fitness. That's all he wants to do. He doesn't want to prove his fitness, and it's not a bad thing because as I said, he came through the academy. He bleeds the club, no matter what anyone says, and he's got experience of this league.
Yeah, he hasn't been
injured.
Experience
is vital. We need experience. We do need experience. We've been talking. We need experience in our squad.
Yeah,
that would be a lot of responsibility.
With David Ornstein, he said he hasn't been injured for 2 years, hasn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
So I honestly don't see a problem with it at all. And he's used to playing with Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka was around obviously when he was here. I say it'll be a great little bit of business just to keep him till the summer. I really do.
Yeah, and what is going to be the last 5 months of this season is going to be huge for where we finish in the league, what we do in the cups, etc. We're going to need that sort of that experience in our squad.
Well, how many matches this season has Mohamed El Neni been on the bench? Probably most of them, I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, why couldn't Jack take his place on the bench?
Yeah, exactly.
And have El Neni's minutes. Play the cup games when need be, if we've got a good chance to go through. And who knows, right? Say we have an injury to Granit Xhaka. Say we have an injury to Thomas Partey, God forbid, or someone else in midfield, and we're really at the bare bones as we are now. Just imagine, just for 1 minute, that he actually comes into the team and actually plays really nicely, plays really, really well. And he continues to play really, really well, like the Jack we know that he can be. Then we could have a look at giving him another year in the summer. I mean, you don't know, do you? I mean, it could be a really good partnership. We could say, thank you for the job he's done for the last 6 months, and he can move on to a different club in the summer. Or he could play brilliantly and prove his place, and we could give him another short-term deal.
Yeah,
I mean, who's going to lose there? Who's going to lose out of giving him a 6-month contract? Really?
Oh, exactly. It can only benefit both parties, as you said. Either he moves on to another club, and obviously because he's proved over 6 months he can be injury-free, he can still compete at this level, and all that jazz. Or we, as you say, we come to go to him in the summer, no matter depending on what our targets are for the following season and what our targets are for the transfer window. Give him a 1-year contract as a squad player, as a rotational squad for the cup, especially if we're in Europe, be it Europa League or Champions League.
When we're in Europe. When we're in Europe. I'm not saying what Europe. I'm not jinxing it. I'm not jinxing it.
Either way, especially if we are in Europe, that's another handful of games coming our way. Playing in the cup, in the domestic cups, the League Cups or the FA Cup rounds and the early stages of the group stage, depending on again who we get in the group stage and all that. If we were in Europe, playing in them sort of games as well, sort of here and there. If we've already qualified, hey, like back in Wenger or in Europe under Wenger, once we'd already qualified, he'd play the squad players. He'd give them a run out in the last couple of games, like the fifth and the sixth game. Give them a run out in them sort of games. And if, as you say, if they're bare bones, and obviously he bring them in that way and this, that, and the other. But worst case, he's got cup games to look forward to next season.
You need a big squad when you're in Europe. We all know that, and we're going to need, when we get into Europe of some kind, you need 5 or 6 midfielders easy, don't you? I mean, in your squad of quality, not just like,
not just
when
squad
you,
fillers.
especially touchwood. If we get Champions League, you need 5 or 6 quality midfielders, not just a bench full of El Ninis. And I don't like knocking El Nini because I think he's a great professional. Actually, I think he's actually an underrated member of our squad at the moment because he doesn't do much wrong. He doesn't do anything to excite us, which is what I think a lot of people have got a problem with. But he very rarely loses the ball. I'm not saying he never loses the ball, but he very rarely loses the ball. So I'm not slagging him off. However, you need better than that, and without question, Jack's going to be better than that. You know, as one of our 5, maybe 6 midfielders that we would need to go and take into a European competition for all the group stages, for all the cup games we've got to play domestically, to come off the bench in the Premier League, to fill in when required in the Premier League. A squad player has got to do a lot within towards the success of a club, and we could do a lot worse than Wilshere.
Yeah, and even Stephen in the chat saying, give Jack a 6-month contract. The shirt sales will obviously cover any costs, basically. Because
100%.
I mean, what was it, the West Ham game a few weeks ago? He was obviously youth station as well. He was there giving an award to Ramsdale, and then he literally turned around and walked towards the North Bank and got a standing ovation from the entire stand.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he'd have to have the number 100, wouldn't he? It's close because it almost, looks like 10. With you just have a smaller 0 at the end of the small.
What was it when Mkhitaryan came in? Could you get
77?
Get 77 instead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Jack would have to have 100.
But Mkhitaryan only had that for I think it was the Champions League or Europa League.
The European competition.
Yeah, for the 77, but for the Premier League at 7. If you remember Bobby Zamorano, he had like 1+0. Was it 1+8? No, it's 1+8. So we could do something like that. We could give him like a shirt that's like 9+1. So we have
1+9. I don't.
There we go. No, Pepe has the 1+. But that was Jack's second shirt. From 32, he went to 19, and then he took the number 10 shirt.
Yeah.
32 is with a legend right now, so can't touch 32.
I'd have 100 if I was him. With a smaller naught at the end.
That game, like I comment about shirt sales, by the way.
That makes a lot of sense. It's true, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah,
I'd buy one. I'd like a Wilshere one. That'd be good.
Just obviously, you've got the nostalgia, haven't you? That's the thing. And obviously, again, when he was going back to when he came through before he backed things up, he played against arguably one of the best Barcelona teams. Well, he was the best Barcelona team, best club team in our lifetime, greatest footballers in our lifetime, and he took them to task. He tore that midfield a new one. That had Xavi, Iniesta, you name it, young Messi.
And again, what that game? What did we get done by the second leg? A bad yellow card.
Yeah.
Coming back full circle to what we were discussing.
It was the worst one ever, I think.
Yeah. What's doing my doing is fucking Dermot Gallagher before he backed things up. Fucking what was it? Last because we're talking about the Bernardo thing, yeah. A few days ago, there was a Chelsea incident. It was on, and same thing. Literally, carbon copy of what we saw with Bernardo. A few days ago, no, not a penalty. Absolutely correct. The ref was not to give a pen. Obviously, today he's gone on there and gone, yeah, it was a pen. So the host is on, well, hang on. You've said this, you're saying this is a pen, but a carbon copy against Chelsea for Ziyech wasn't given. You said that wasn't a pen. What's the difference? And he was I know what you're trying to do. Well, no, basically, call you out because you're making the rules up as you go along. And going along, it's like they're making it up as they go along.
Those TV refs are I hate them even more than
payroll. They're still on the PGMOL payroll.
Yeah, well, that Pete Morgan, honestly, if I saw him in the street, I mean, swear to God, I'd probably do time. Quite gladly. David Gallagher,
with that,
David Gallagher as well. Honestly, they're all they're trying to. I don't know. They're just.
It's like
They're
they want
trying
to
to.
stroke the bear, don't they? They want
I
to
can't
push
think
the
of the word
button.
I'm trying to think of. Yeah, they are. They're trying to be extra controversial just for the clicks, really, because you
Yeah.
can imagine how many clicks they get on social media for these clips that they're getting at the moment, and that's promotion for the TV programs and the shows and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It just winds me up so badly. It's just they're awful, absolutely awful.
Yeah. And we'll do it. I think, guys, we'll do a whole different show near the end of the season. We'll do a show, or probably just during summer. Do a show devoted to how the fuck do we fix this issue with the referees.
Mic them up. That will solve it.
I'm with you on that.
Not even joking. Yeah, it will solve it overnight because they would not be allowed.
With
Yeah,
one
but
game Arsenal v Millwall.
I know, hilarious. But they would not be able to be biased in any way because everyone can hear what they say. So
you know how much stick the fans would give them if they made a wrong call and they could hear it. The fans would boo the ref until, like, I'm pretty sure the ref would be like, "We get it. We'll change the decision."
Yeah, okay. Give up.
Give up. We're sorry.
I want to get out of here alive tonight. So.
Oh dear. Well, that's another again. The ref was that bad. The fans, thousands of fans, didn't leave. Had to be forced to leave the stadium because they were waiting for him to come back out to do his warm down. They're paying for his blood. That's how bad he was.
But the other thing is, I mic them up, like I said, and put their salary up to a really good level, so it actually makes.
Yeah.
There's so many kids that want to be a footballer, right? But if they're not quite good enough, it's another route into football. They can meet their hero, blah blah blah. You know, they could actually be like a famous ref on the telly. It sounds stupid, but that's what kids are like. That's what kids are like. They get a career in football, and if you give them a decent salary, I don't know, even like $200,000 a year or something, it sounds crazy. But the amount of pressure you've got in that job is unbelievable. Obviously, so they are making a big part of the spectacle that we're watching all over the world. And it can ruin a game, like we saw the other day. So if they gave them like a really good salary, and it would also attract all the best refs from all over the world. So all the best refs in South America, across Europe, anywhere, Asia, they would all apply to come to this country because they're dwarfing their salaries then from where they are at the moment.
Well, also another thing I touched on that as well, because it sort of touches on the rugby side of things. Because I watched the rugby union side of things, is that no matter what league you're in domestically, the rules are the same in every country. The rules are one. It's like the main people, like, for example, in football, be UEFA and FIFA would govern it. UEFA for European competition, FIFA for the global side of it, or whatever. So FIFA would actually, because it's global, they'd run the show in terms of rules. UEFA would have to implement it as well. They make all these like what's offside, what's handball, this, that, and the other. One simple rule for every single rule. Everyone has to abide by that for their entire world, all have the same system, VAR wise, everything, and have argued one of the best refs that is working for FIFA at the moment. Coach them all in the summer. Come get summer camp wherever you want in the world. Get them somewhere and train them, and also have him then not just on the pitch, but in a VAR sense as well. And once it'll take a year or two to sort of get out the kinks, but once that's going, I think we see it in rugby. You hardly ever have any controversy to this level because they're all singing off the same hymn sheet, no matter what. Domestically, cup competition, World Cups, it's the same rules and the same system implemented at all levels.
Yeah, definitely. In the VAR people should be independent as well from the refs. They shouldn't be their mates.
No,
I mean, it'd be great to get a load of ex-pros, ex-professional footballers who are,
have no bias to maybe games as well. Have no
exactly.
Whatsoever.
They know what it's like to play the game at the highest level. They may be down on their luck after their careers ended anyway. They might be wanting to have a route back into the game. And if you got a load of those, trained them up to have them running, on the rota for every single game that VAR are involved in, they're completely independent from the refs. They know what the game is all about. They can sense the heat of the moment at the times, and they would make better decisions, I'm sure, than some of these clowns that we've got in there at the moment.
Well, Melvin's asking if we gave him 200k a week, they'd still take a bribe.
Yeah, that's probably right, Melvin. But no, you know where I'm coming from with that. If you can attract the best wrestlers from all over the world into the best league, then you can only benefit from that. And when you're talking about bringing the best managers from all over the world and the best players from all over the world, why not have the best referees from all over the world into the UK?
No, exactly.
It just boggles me that they haven't done that before. To be honest, boggles my mind.
But yeah, I think with that, we're best wrap things up. I know you've got to be off somewhere.
Yeah.
And all that, and all that stuff. Get back into the scheme of work as well soon. This week, because obviously the 12 nights and all that's up soon. So I think now. But yeah, tomorrow I've got nothing planned, guys. And you've got no content tomorrow.
My game tomorrow. My show tomorrow. My channel.
Show tomorrow.
Yeah, you're both obviously open, extended, welcome to come on if you're available, Ryan, and obviously you can join.
Thank you.
So it's the first show in quite a few weeks because my work schedule was stupid on the run up to Christmas.
Yeah, so, it's good to hear.
I mean, I'll say that now, and I'll get bloody 300 parcels dumped on me in the morning. I won't be looking. No, but yeah, all being well, I'll be back tomorrow for the first show in quite a long time. I think it's about a month ago or more than did the last one. So back for the new year, and so come and join us tomorrow on my channel. That'd be great. 7:30.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I know.
Maybe 7. Maybe 7 actually tomorrow. Yeah, maybe 7.
We're sort of offline. Yeah. Wednesday. In terms of this channel, got Wednesday. Got an early FA Cup preview because it's the person I'm collabing with can only do it on Wednesday because I've got a busy schedule. So Wednesday 9:00, myself and a Nottingham Forest fan are going to be on here. I'll try and get a couple of Arsenal fans on as well. They're available. That'd be fun. And then obviously Thursday's a watch along for the Liverpool game, the home leg, and then Friday got the quiz, Mike's quiz, 9:00 UK time to sort out all the contestants for that. That'd be fun for the next few days, yay! And then Saturday off, and then Sunday back for a double Arsenal delight. Arsenal women first against Birmingham City women, and then the FA Cup match against Nottingham Forest. Oh dear! Don't say I can do anything for you. Bloody hell!
No one would, Ryan. Yeah. No one would. Hardest working man in YouTube.
Well. Anyway, moving on. Before I say anything stupid. Yeah, obviously, Happy New Year to everybody. Anyone that hasn't been in the last few nights, obviously, as you come in tonight, you missed the start of it. Happy New Year, obviously. As I said, back obviously on Andrew's channel tomorrow. Hopefully, it all goes ahead. Touch wood.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
And yeah, Kunjan, where can people find you as well?
Social media. I've not got anything on YouTube yet.
Yeah, you have. You're on my channel every week.
There we go. That's my rise to fame. I'm on the Dial Square with Andrew. And again, I want to extend this big thank you to a couple of people that I want to start with Tom. Tom was the reason I'm here today. Because I got invited to Tom's channel and Andrew picked me from there. So the second person I'm going to extend this to is Andrew. Thank you so much. And thanks to Andrew today, Ryan, you have me here. So from this little teeny weeny place, very, very far away from where you guys are, you picked me up and thank you for that. It really, really means a lot to me. Genuinely.
We only have you on, Kunjan, because you're really, really good to have on. Simple as that. Yeah. You're great insight. And I'm sure Ryan would agree. You're great addition, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Obviously, again, whenever you're free, we'll obviously chat away from off here. But you're always welcome to come back on whenever you're free. Obviously,
I'm always free. Anything to speak about Arsenal, anything to batter teams like Tottenham. I'm happily here. I'm always here. I could be falling off a cliff and I could speak to you about that.
Tottenham machine.
What do you think of Tottenham? Shit. Iconic laugh.
And then when you're splattered on the floor, look, this is what Tottenham look like.
No, I would still bleed red even if I'm dead. Come on.
No, talking about a big pile on the floor.
I agree, but I'm saying at least that's still bleed red.
Yeah, you
There's
will.
not any brown coming out of me. Hopefully.
No.
Yeah.
Let's not go down that route.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like poo coming out of corpses and all that sort of stuff. It's a bit too macabre.
Bit too South Park, my liking. Oh dear, no. Yeah, talking to Tom, we got them up, not this weekend, obviously the following weekend away. Yay! Again, another reason why I wanted to fucking win, because just to get a few points gap between us still. But hey, makes it more.
It's a 6-pointer. Do you know that? Because right now they're 1 point behind us with 2 games in hand.
Yeah,
So,
2 games in hand. So if we can obviously we will go there and win, touch wood. But again, there'd be a 4-point gap, and they've got 2 games in hand, but there's no guarantee then 2 games in hand will get many points. So,
because I just want to go and look at their fixtures, because I think they have City, or is it Chelsea? They have quite a difficult.
Chelsea coming soon, I think.
Tottenham have they have Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. They then play Chelsea again in the Carabao Cup. They play us at home. Then they go away to Stamford Bridge. They host Southampton and Wolves back to back, and then Man City away. So I'm pretty sure they're going to drop some points.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we do need to go to the toilet bowl and get some points for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think anyone can think that we haven't got a brilliant chance of doing that. So I'm not worried at all.
Because our next run of fixtures is also quite good. Like we have Burnley at home. We're away to Wolves, which could be a little tricky. Brentford at home, and then Liverpool at home. So it's roughly the same.
The Liverpool game's been postponed because of the cup final. So that's been moved to a later
Could be, but right now it's showing as going ahead of 26th. Because the only one postponed is the Chelsea game. That's the only one postponed.
Because of the World Club Cup thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the only one postponed. So
which is good.
Up until the 26th Feb, this is what it's looking like on both sides.
Yeah.
It's good that the Chelsea game is postponed because it means that we'll have our players back from the African Cup of Nations.
Yeah.
When we actually do get to play them.
Yeah.
Which probably be our April, May time, which is perfect. Again, perfect time to play them because they've got nothing to play for. No title race without the title race.
Well, we haven't got Europe to contend with like they have.
Yeah.
Because come February, when the Champions League starts again, they're going to start having those Tuesday, Wednesday weekend, Tuesday, Wednesday weekend, Tuesday, Wednesday weekend. And we won't have that. So that's when we're going to start seeing the benefit of not being in Europe this season.
Yeah. Never know. We could finish second the way we're going.
But Chelsea are dropping a lot of points. Like if you look at the run of fixtures right now, Chelsea and with the whole Lukaku, it's something I wanted to touch on. I just wanted to touch on this, and I didn't want to. No one's picked up on this, oddly enough. But when Aubameyang got disciplined, Thomas Tuchel very, very nicely. I have to give it to him. It was not in any malice towards Arteta, but he said in a press conference, he's like, "I'll call Aubameyang and speak to him about this." How ironic! With what's happening to him right now. Like, I want Mikel to go on a press conference and say, "I need to call Romelu. I don't even know him, but I need to call him."
Definitely. Right. Anything else, viewers? We'll mop up on my show tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to have to shoot off now.
Yeah, no worries, guys. Obviously,
good to see you, Andrew. Happy New Year.
Yeah, likewise.
And all the best, my friend.
Likewise. And again, massive thank you to both of you guys and everyone in the chat for keeping it going. Sorry again, Assassin in the chat. I know you're a Man United fan, but I'm enjoying it. Let me enjoy it.
It could be worse. You could be a Tottenham fan.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's true, actually. Yeah, but until
it could be worse. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could still be in charge as well.
Oh God.
Let's discuss that tomorrow. I don't agree. Let's discuss that.
Have you been watching Man United recently?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's discuss that tomorrow. I'm saying to Andrew, has he been watching Man United recently?
Yeah.
No, exactly. I haven't.
Dear. But yeah. Obviously, we're both on Andrew's channel tomorrow and back on it on Wednesday. But yeah, until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening and we'll see you soon. In terms of the audio, it'll be up on all the usual places and we'll see you then.
Good night, Ryan. Good night, Andrew.
Happy New Year to you all.
Happy New Year. my opinion.